A lot of y'all gotta stop self-sabotaging, either a relationship, self-sabotaging, anything in general, but understanding that maybe they're not a wrong person. It's just that you have too many voices or people, outside voices, telling you, all right, this is a bad relationship, this is bad for you, or, you know, self-sabotaging, and you thinking and hearing from other people what their perspective is just because some type of experience they've been through that you think that you can relate in this situation. Everybody is not the same person. We all come from the same person, but we're not all the same person. Everybody has their own lives, everybody has their own traumas and things that they have been through. So that's why you self-sabotage a relationship, maybe because you see patterns that you've had with your other partners. Maybe you've seen patterns with your parents. Maybe you weren't in a good household as a kid. Maybe you didn't get to voice your opinion at certain times. But by self-sabotaging relationships in general, you don't know what is God sent. You don't know if a person is God sent, or somebody is an angel or something like that, or, you know, just in general, just people that are maybe change or help you grow in life. Maybe this person might help you to build your confidence, maybe see something in you that you didn't see in you. I feel like that's why God puts us in certain situations, to help us to understand, maybe I'm gonna send you this person, instead of you just crossing them out just because you see a certain pattern that they had, but understanding, growing, and thinking that maybe this person can actually help me and grow, instead of just shutting them down every time you speak. A lot of y'all self-sabotage relationships, and it's like, dang, you don't want to be hurt. I understand, we're not supposed to be hurt. We always want the highs in relationship, the highs in life, right? We never want to see what's wrong. We don't ever want the lows in life, because if I take an L, maybe this will make me look bad, or maybe not look good on my resume, maybe not look good on my reputation. But I understand that y'all don't want to be hurt, but I completely understand it. But don't ruin something long-term for a short and fun-term situation. Maybe you've been in a good relationship with your partner, but you don't understand that, all right, now I might be self-sabotaging my relationship with this person, because you have to understand, just because you love somebody, it doesn't really mean anything. Loving somebody just is sacrificing things that you wouldn't do. Maybe you don't want to cheat on your partner, so you want to do that, right? Y'all gotta stop listening to people that are single and miserable. This is really what really affects it. Y'all think that people are always there for you. Sometimes the closest people to y'all are the most envious and jealous of y'all. Y'all single friends are gonna keep you like, all right, why is he a good person? Why you always want to hang around with your boyfriend, or why you want to hang out with your girlfriend all the time? It's not that they're a bad person. It's just like, you're a bad not saying you're a bad person, but sometimes the reason why a lot of y'all are single is because single people keep single people single, and maybe that was dumb. But like, you know, it's like, a lot of y'all don't understand that y'all keeping y'all friends single even when they're probably in the best relationship they've ever been in. It's like, dang, why can't I just be myself, and why can't I be in this relationship? But see, a lot of y'all are miserable because y'all been done by man. All you say is F man, F women, because this and that. No. Stop entertaining people that are the same people that you entertained in the past. It's all patterns. We are all patterns. If you don't grow after your relationship that you just got out with your ex or something like that, you're not going to grow in general. The thing is, like, God sends you people, or people that are in your life, they come for a reason. Nothing in this life is unexpected. Everything is calculated to a certain T in a perspective, right? People are in your life to show you who you are. It's a mirror. So stop self-sabotaging relationships and being like, all right, well, they were just in my life, they're a bad person. Have you looked in the mirror? Maybe not everybody in your life is going to come and be like, all right, well, you're a bad person in this pattern, in this situation. Just because you're in a relationship, that doesn't mean that you don't have to stop being in a relationship because you're a single person or something like that has been hurt by every guy that they ever done. No, that's their type. A lot of y'all relationship could have been really good, but then you just get scared. And I understand a relationship is never ever perfect, you know. I used to wait because I didn't want to be in a relationship, because I didn't think that I thought everything was supposed to be butterflies and, you know, just great times and all that. But then I had to realize, because mind you, the only real relationship I ever seen was with my parents. My parents have been married for 28 years plus, right? So it's like, at the end of the day, I'm thinking everything's so good, but I never seen them really argue, because at the end of the day, it's like, sometimes we're all human. We all overthink. As much as y'all might want to say that you don't overthink, you do. The thing is, like, we all overthink something because we're scared of being hurt. That's the whole thing. Humans have emotions. I understand it. I know a lot of y'all ain't Christian, and I know a lot of y'all don't believe in the devil or whatever, but sometimes the devil and overthinking and negative thoughts come into your brain and be like, all right, if they don't get to this if they don't get this person, they won't ever grow. You know, sometimes a lot of people God sends in your life are either supposed to help you grow or understand more things about you. But if you think that this is going to happen, and by overthinking, and the devil sends you, he tell y'all to be single, and you got more time to live to be single. A lot of y'all want to be single. Y'all ruin good relationships, you know, platonic relationships and romantic relationships. And the devil knows he can't stop you, so he sent a counterfeit or a person to come hurt you. How to get rid of self-sabotage. Recognize the triggers, you know. Notice when you overthink or engage in a certain aspect, and maybe your triggers might be you're scared of failure, you're scared of rejection, you're scared of fear, you're just scared, you know, you're scared of not getting what you wanted, you know. But as this life, I understand people don't want to be hurt. It's okay to be scared of fear, you know, but don't make that your whole personality. Don't make it be like, oh, well, this person hurt me all the time, so I'm not ever going to be in a good relationship. No. You're going to be in a good relationship. You're going to find a good person that's going to treat you well. But understand that right now, maybe this might not be your time. Maybe it might be time for you to just spend time with you, so you don't have to self-sabotage everything good that's ever been in your life. Identify your like negative beliefs. Like, why do you think this? Maybe, for example, I'm not saying every relationship, but maybe your relationship, your parents' relationship, right? Maybe they may be divorced. I'm just speaking like this might not apply to you, but just get what I'm saying. That sometimes, like I said before, miserable. A lot of people are miserable, but miserable people hang around miserable people. And whatever company you hang around, that's what your environment is ultimately going to believe. But understand, like, why does this person think this way? Maybe they were hurt in the past, maybe they were cheated on. That doesn't mean you're going to get cheated on, okay? I think a lot of the times that we in this world, just like we've normalized cheating so much that it's become like it's bound to happen. It's not going to happen if it's a good person in your life. Not everybody is a cheater. Like, don't think that just because you cheat on your nigga cheat on his homework that you gonna cheat on you, nigga. It's not how it works, bro, you know. And it's so embarrassing because, like I said, miserable people hang around miserable people, but just because this situation happened to them does not mean that's going to happen to you. You have to realize that sometimes God will look out for you. Maybe he might send you a sign. Maybe he'll send you your intuition, your gut feeling, right? Maybe this might be like, all right, this person's not a good person for you. And then you relate to their friends. You get to know their friends, right? But all right, but this is not a good relationship. I'm gonna stop. I'm not going to think about this, right? So then break the cycle. Start with the small talk and then realizing, all right, what do I do normally? You know, how do people take advantage of me so I don't have to self-sabotage everything? Everything's gonna be good to me. Set realistic goals. Like, what do you want in a relationship? What do you want? So you don't have to ruin everything that was ever good or ever meant for you. And then practice self-compassion, you know. Replace like self-criticism with encouragement. Understanding that life is not always good, but sometimes it will. You will understand why certain things are triggering you or affecting you. Maybe you've always wanted, like a lot of people, I'll say this, but sometimes the reason why people like ruin or self-sabotage certain things, right? Maybe that be a person, or like I said before, because a lot of y'all just want control. And it's really embarrassing because a lot of y'all don't want to be in a relationship. Y'all want to be in a dictatorship. Y'all want everything to be about control, and you don't ever want to be in a relationship. So now everything that you do is, if you don't have control, you don't feel satisfied. If something's not good in your car, it's like, why are they not texting me? Why are they not pulling back? Why are they doing certain things like this? Like, sometimes people got lives too, bro. Their life is not just you. And if you make your partner your whole life, something is not gonna go good for you. I'm gonna trust me. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Build accountability. And like I said, it's not all for just relationships. This is just self-sabotaging. I just talked about relationships because that's what I'm interested in, just learning the psychology of people. But building accountability, like tell people your goals so somebody can keep you in check. Find like-minded people so that you can, or either that might be your parents, but find a good knit group so then you don't have to suffer alone. See, that's why a lot of self-sabotage happens, because you're with yourself and you think that your ego takes over you. You don't know who you are because your ego controls you. Do a deep dive in your life and understand, why do you think this way? Why am I self-sabotaging everything that was ever good to me? And then I reflect and be like, dang, that was a good relationship, but I lost them because I didn't cherish and accept and appreciate who they were. Now they're gone. And a lot of people don't come back after relationships. If they do, You know, y'all know I'm a Christian. I do believe in God. If you don't, build a relationship with him, but this is just how it is. So I'm gonna tell you all some things that God says in the Bible just about how to get rid of it. Renew your mind. Like I said, find the things that hurt you. In Romans 12:2, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Negative thoughts can lead to self-sabotaging. God calls us to align to our things that he has the truth. God doesn't want you to self-sabotage everything. He doesn't want you to understand everything. In this world, we're not supposed to know everything. That's why I think that's the beauty of life. Not knowing how to do everything and not knowing what's going to happen. Because if you knew what things would happen, trust me, you wouldn't believe in a certain power, or you wouldn't believe in God, or you wouldn't believe there's a such thing as a certain power. Because if you think you're a guy, you can do everything yourself. Instead of self-sabotage and be like, dang, I already know what's going to happen, so why would I influence this? You know, he also says, overcoming fear and doubt. This is really what it is. You know, you have to fear the Lord, not feel self-sabotage. In 2 Timothy 1:7, I found this quote and it said, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound of mind. You know, fear and anxiety, they often drive this certain thing of self-sabotaging. You know what I'm saying? But God reminds us that we're equipped with strength and clarity, so you can go to him for advice, or find somebody. If you don't believe in God, find somebody that you believe in that will help you out in a certain situation. And then guarding your words and thoughts, because being alone is good sometimes, but like, don't do this, because then your words and what you might think, or maybe what you see on the internet, maybe this social media and things like that, is like, this will really influence you, because now you think that everybody trying to hurt you. No. You're hurting you because you're allowing everybody's perspectives and what they've been through and their experiences to control who you are, not because of what you do. And then trusting God's plan. Just understand that you're here for a reason. God doesn't want you to overthink and be like that. Trust his plans so that he can do what he has to do for your life, and so that you don't have to overthink every situation that you've ever been through. You know, in Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future. You know, self-sabotaging things can stem from not believing the good things that we're meant for. You know, not thinking you're worthy enough for the blessings that God has for you. You have to believe that God has something good for you. Don't ever think that God doesn't have anything good for you, because you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be listening to this video. Don't, mind you, if you need help, hit me up in the DMs or whatever. But yeah, just help me out. Just let me help you out. But just go to God. Sometimes I don't know the answer. Like I said, everything is perspective, right? I'm just the narrator and God's the creator. God's the creator, I'm the narrator, right? And God knows everything because he's the creator of the situation, right? But I'm the narrator, so I just talk. I talk what I've been through, experiences, and then my friends' perspectives and things I've seen that are ultimately a pattern in my life. So that's why I control it. That's how I understand it. But yeah, the last one is releasing guilt and shame. In Isaiah 43:18, verse 18 through 19, it says, forget the former things, do not dwell in the past. See, I am doing new things. See, this helps out a lot in general, and because you don't always have to believe nothing is going to go good for you. Like I said, remove those people in your life that are very self-centered. They think the world is the best about them. They don't want to, they're miserable and they're lonely. These people you have to be really careful about. These people might be your parents, they may be your cousins, maybe your family in general, right? But sometimes good people don't think that nothing's going to go good for them. They think that, oh, well, I'm supposed to be here by myself because that's how I came here. No, God told us that there's somebody that's supposed to help you out. But if you shut everybody down that he gave to you, how is he supposed to bless you if you shut everything good that ever happened and he sent for you? Come on, let that sink in.